Hey everyone, Empress here again. Today I am playing a game called Space Engineers. This game is currently in its alpha phase, but you can buy it now for early access, in Steam, like they like to do lately. This game is definitely worth it. Yes, it has a few bugs still, some stuff to be added, some stuff to be worked out, but it's so worth it right now. It's a construction game, basically in the vein of Minecraft, but it's in space. It's far more advanced, far more in-depth, far cooler. So here you can see I loaded up a world with a quick start that gives me everything I need to get going in the world. Everything is made of components, and to get components you have to mine the ore. Then you refine the ore through refineries, and that, gives you ingots and powders and stuff like that to work with. Then you can put those into your assembler and use those to create all the different components you need to build ships and platforms and all kinds of fun stuff like that. You can see over here we have a turret spinning around, keeping an eye out for enemies, as well as meteor showers, protecting my station from meteors. We have some big solar panels over here, providing energy to my station. Free energy is always good. There's also reactors that are powered by uranium, but you have to mine and refine the uranium to use it. Here we have cargo containers to store all the components and stuff that get made. And everything here is connected together through conveyors and conveyor tubes. Over here we have the med bay. You can see over on the left you have energy and oxygen. They're not going down right now because I'm in creative mode, but in survival mode they do go down. You need the med room for energy, and you want an oxygen generator attached to that so you get air as well. You can see that here, oxygen generator. And everything is attached to one another, so when I'm done refining something, it goes into the cargo, and then if I create something, the assembler will pull it from there, and the reactors pull the fuel they need, stuff like that, as long as they're connected properly like they are here. You can see they gave me a few ships to start with. Basically, they mirror the basic tools you have as a character. You have a welder, a grinder, and a drill. And then for larger, more efficient versions, you have, here's your grinder, here's your welder, here's your drills. These work in much bigger areas, much faster. And then over here we have a basic little fighter that they spawned for us, a couple Gatling guns, a couple rocket launchers. So I'm just going to show you a little bit. First we'll hop in the miner. Down on the hotbar there you can see we have the different drill attachments. Go into third-person view to get a better view, and we're going to go over here to the asteroid where we saw that it has magnesium. Turn on our drill heads, and we want to drill out a little bit of the magnesium. See, it's gone into my inventory, well, the inventory of the ship. And then I can go back. I can take out what I just mined and pop it into my refinery. And you'll see it starts breaking it down right away. Now the builder ship, the grinder here breaks things down, stores the components in the storage, and then the welder uses those components to build, just like you can here. Like these structures here, it's just the outline, it's not been constructed yet, but I can take my welder, and as long as I have the components in my inventory, I use the welder to finish it up. And the ship welder is the same thing, it just does it bigger, more efficiently, faster. Over here we have a set of grinders in this tub, and it's actually attached down here through conveyors to the rest of my system. So if I really wanted to quickly destroy something, I could just drop it in there, grind it up, and have everything stored here waiting for me to build something else. Over here you can see the large ship that they spawned for us. There's two basic types of ships when you go to create a ship. You can see over here, new small ship, new large ship, or new station. It's not just size is a big part of it, but it's also what blocks can be used, how big those blocks appear when you place them, how much materials are needed to make them, etc. So this one here, this is a large ship. It's actually big enough to hold people, to hold other ships, to go in and walk around inside. I have a nice little docking port here where you could come in, bring your ship. It has a gravity generator so I could turn off my jetpack and walk around. You can open the big doors. And head inside just to take a little look around. Connector port for attaching a ship. More doors so you could bring larger ships in here through the sides if you wanted to. Airlock doors. Out there you can see our platform. Have some seats for some passengers. This ship's med bay. And right through here should be the cockpit. Yep. And we have the control seat. We can get in. I want to make sure that everything is owned by me. Oh! When I made the ship owned by me, it decided the platform was hostile, and the guns on the ship have started to shoot at the ship. So let's turn those off. Off. Yeah, that was bad. Alright, but it's okay now. I don't think there was too much damage. We can go take a look. Not too bad. A few things broken. Everything's at least still intact. I don't know if you can hear it in the sound, but you can hear the refinery working away, breaking down that magnesium. Alright, so we'll head right back into that large ship. And we can hop in the seat again. And now we could actually fly it if we wanted to. Being such a large ship, it's slower, harder to maneuver, of course, but it can be done. And over there you can see in the red business shipment, that is an NPC ship. There's all kinds of different ones that spawn. They are usually heavily guarded, but they are also carrying stuff that's helpful. So we're going to take our fighter ship here. then we're gonna go take a look at the business shipment. Right, but first we're gonna go in. We gotta make sure everything is owned by me, since it's a new ship. Now I also want to group the things that I plan on using. So the Gatling guns together. Group those. Then I'm gonna group my rockets. Grouped those. And now I can come to my toolbar configuration window, go to groups, pull down the groups I just made, set them how I want to use them, and they're ready to go. So we're going to go check out this business shipment. Probably going to be very well guarded. Probably going to lose the ship, but that's alright. Starting off with a few missiles before I get in range of their guns. Trying to take out their turrets before they get me. Oh, they took out my rocket launchers and my Gatling guns. And my ship's on fire. So I'm going to run for my life. So it was a little too heavily protected for my little ship. But I made it out alive. Out alive, at least. You can see my ship's not doing so well. Everything's pretty much on fire. So just a little bit about ships while we're flying here. You can see every time I make a move with my mouse, you can see all the different thrusters firing in the different directions. You want to make sure you have thrusters in every different direction, otherwise your ship's not going to be able to move that way. And you want equal force in each direction, otherwise your ship's going to be unbalanced. If I have, 8 thrusters in the back and 1 in the front, I'm going to go really fast, but slowing down and stopping is going to be a lot harder. It also works around center of mass, the center of mass of your ship. So the further away from the center of mass they are, the more control, the more effect on the direction of the ship they're going to have. Alright, so here we are, back at the platform, in what's left of my little fighter. Uh-oh. Something happened, Oh, this must be from when the red chip decided to start shooting. It looks like it broke off a few of my solar panels and my antenna is now sparking. It happens. Ship is falling apart, antenna sparking, solar panels down. So I come in with my torch and I can repair it. Thankfully, I've got the components in my inventory that I need to fix it. And my antenna's all better. No more sparking. But my platform is probably a little bit low on energy right now. I can go to G for my toolbar configuration menu, and I want to find solar panels. So I could put up a couple new ones, drop them on my hotbar. I try and match them up with the other ones. Different rotation keys. Now I need to turn that one around so they match. Alright, so there we go. Since I'm in creative mode, they're just going to pop right into place. I don't have to weld them or anything. But they're back, they're functional, they're attached to this, which is attached to my ship, so they're going to give me power. They also fill these batteries here with any power until they're full, which stores power in case, you know, something horrible happened to the sun, for example. And the sun goes away or something's blocking out the sun and you need energy. You can see over here my gravity generator is also sparking. Red ship did more damage than I realized. Alright, so now I'm going to show you just a little bit basics of the building some stuff here. It's all here in your toolbar config, all the different stuff you can use. You just need the components to make it all. Some light armor, some heavy armor in different shapes and sizes. Basic cockpits and control stations, thrusters, different size cargo containers, gyroscopes. The more gyroscopes you have, the more maneuverable and more easy it is to maneuver your ship. Different size reactors, gravity generators. Lots of fun stuff in here to play with. Ore detectors for your mining ships. Antennas for broadcasting. Lots of different turrets. Some wheels, connectors, conveyors and tubes. Those are what make up these systems you see over here, which connect everything together and help move items from different places like reactors and refineries and assemblers and stuff like that. So I'm just going to take a few things here. We'll do some light armor blocks. And you can set your colors however you'd like. And then you can build. So just a simple little armor bump so you can see some of the different blocks and shapes. You can see them here making up this larger ship, along with things like the thrusters, doors. Here we have windows that are surrounding the cockpit, different sizes and shapes. Connectors where ships can attach. The antenna that broadcasts the ship. You can change the range, change the name, stuff like that, but that's actually really important because if you get out of your ship, it's really, really easy to lose it, even if you think you haven't gone very far. It's space. Space is big, dark, easy to get lost. So antennas are actually very important. Alright, say if I wanted to start making a ship of my own. Again, everything happens in the toolbar configuration menu. Over here on the right, I can do a new small ship, a new large ship, or a new station. So if I do a new small ship, it gives me landing gear to start with. And you can see how it's green right there. Right now it's locked to this platform, so it's not going to float away or fly away, which is actually very important. And then I can start adding to this to build my ship however I want. I can add things down here into my bar. A nice cockpit on there. Really simple, really easy to do, but it's very in-depth, very complicated. Like, this is just the cockpit. Now, if I want to also be able to breathe, I'm going to need an oxygen generator. You need to take that oxygen generator, you need to fill it with ice and make sure it's attached to my cockpit. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to breathe in the ship, which means I'm not going to be able to go for very far distances. Then, if I need to store extra ice, extra fuel, extra ammo for my guns, I'm going to need a cargo container. So you've got to attach a cargo container. And you can see the more and more stuff you attach, the bigger it's going to get, and the more you need to focus on the design, make it work with your armor pieces, work with the shapes, and make cool looking stuff. Like this big red ship here. Now, because I have this connector here that's attached into my system, and I have a mining ship here with a connector on the back, if this was, say, full of ore that I didn't want to move by hand little bit by little bit, these little connectors here allowed me to attach them and then transfer items between them. It's like the landing gear, but you don't have to be flat on the surface, and it allows for the transfer of items, which landing gear does not. So I can see the little X went yellow, I'm close enough to park, P, and I'm now, you can see I'm locked into the station, both connectors are green, and I can now move items back and forth between the ship and the station to move all the ore I just got into my refinery, giving me stuff to make in my assembler so that I can build more ships, build my station bigger and better, and do all that kind of fun stuff. See if we can do a little bit of damage, just so I can show you what happens. I'll show you what happens when two ships collide. Not just because it's fun to watch, but it actually shows something important. Head straight towards this one, building up speed, building up speed. And we just collided. We collided so hard that it broke open the side of that ship and the front of my ship, so I went flying into the other ship. You can see the few pieces floating around, broken off the ship. The big gaping hole in this big ship that I just broke open. My dampeners are off, that's why I'm flying so far. Inertial dampeners help hold you in space and slow you down when you're moving. So here you can see all the damage done. You can actually, with your welder, start repairing at least the pieces that are still intact, and then can work on replacing the ones that got completely destroyed. You can see here they take their shape, go back to normal. But I'm also now in their ship and I can do whatever I want. You can see here's a couple pieces of the ship that came inside. We can break those down with our grinder to get rid of them and take those components back into our inventory. So it's a pretty nice little setup here. You can tell by the air vent here that it used to be pressurized and airtight, but since I smashed the side open it's no longer airtight. All the air went flying out. But this is an airlock door, so if I close this one, the inside should still be pressurized, meaning I can come in here, take off my helmet's off, and I'm not taking damage, which means it's pressurized. There's oxygen in here. But there was not oxygen in there, so I just got blown back, put my helmet back on. Interior turret to protect this place from intruders, namely me. Here's their med bay, their oxygen system, and I'm betting their cockpit is through here. Yep, here we go, here's their control station. Here is the blue ship that I just damaged. Let's go into the control panel. Make sure everything is owned by me. Now let's take this thing to the military mine layer we see over there. Oh! This ship is also shooting at the small ship that crashed into it. Can watch it destroy that. Pieces falling off. Reactors damaged. You can see the green noxious smoke coming out. Alright, let's go to that military mine layer. Being a bigger ship is a little harder to maneuver. Okay, a lot harder to maneuver. Alright, now we're on course. You can see all the ship information there along the side, the mass of the ship, the speed it's going right now, how much power is being used, how much power it creates, how many thrusters I've got, if the dampeners are on, how many gyroscopes are there, how long the fuel is going to last, how many batteries are in use, how many landing gear you have, and if any are touching, which is important for landing and reattaching yourself to ships and stations and such. Alright, being a military ship, this is probably going to be very heavily armored. gonna fly right into it. Epic explosion. And they're still shooting at me. Half of my ship is gone, half of their ship is gone, but they're still shooting at me. And they're far more maneuverable than I am. They're still shooting at me. You can see there's very little left of the ship. I'm still alive, thankfully, because I was hidden back here deep inside, but everything is destroyed, and they're still flying away with all their good cargo. I didn't even get any loot, so that was kind of a waste, but that was a pretty epic explosion. So, yeah, that's about it for the basics here. Just a quick, simple look at Space Engineers. Check it out. SpaceEngineers.com. Look it up on Steam. I highly recommend it. Click like, subscribe, check out my other videos, and thank you so much.